Let's talk about the presumptive Republican candidate here for a minute. And we'll do a whole Obama one later, but right now let's talk about Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, gee, where do you start with Mitt Romney? If you go back and you look at the old tapes from 15 years ago when he was governor of Massachusetts, that's a completely different person. I can understand why the Republicans have a little bit of a problem embracing Mitt Romney. Boy, I would have a problem embracing him myself if I was an ultra-conservative. Because his positions have changed. Okay, here's a few facts about Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, at one point in his career, when he was running for governor of Massachusetts, was probably one of the most pro-abortion supporters in the whole conservative movement. He actually even said that he would fight to defend a woman's right to choose, and he firmly believed it. He firmly believed it. Gee, what happened to that? I wonder. He also was all in favor of gun restrictions. Now he speaks at the NRA and talks about how he was a severely conservative governor. And at one point when he was running against Teddy Kennedy for U.S. Senate in Massachusetts, which he lost incidentally, he bragged that he was further to the left. In other words, he supported gay rights even more vigorously than Teddy Kennedy. And this is our Republican candidate this year. You know what? I would have no problem supporting Mitt Romney if those were still his positions. But let's look at the positions he staked out today in order to win this nomination. Today, he is exactly the opposite. He even supports what Governor Huckabee calls the Personhood Amendment. The Personhood Amendment classifies as a person a fertilized egg from day one of conception. In other words, what the Personhood Amendment would do, it would eliminate estrogen-based birth control for women, which is the pill. This is where you hear this attack on women. Because, are you kidding me that you want to tell women whether or not they control whether they get pregnant or not? And you're going to use personhood as a way to do that. When Mitt Romney was asked whether he would support a personhood amendment to the Constitution, his response was emphatically, absolutely. Think about that, ladies. Think about it a minute. Let's look at his other positions. Now he is anti-gay rights. He supports a traditional marriage amendment to the Constitution. You know, I always thought Republicans were all about personal freedoms. Why do they care about what you do with your life? I mean, it should be they do exactly the opposite of what they claim. Why don't you mind your business and let other people's mind theirs? Seriously? If two people are in love somewhere, you want to deny them the same rights as you would an ordinary, traditionally married couple? I mean, this is the 21st century, for God's sake. Lord. Now, also Mitt Romney, who recently, within the last couple of days, has decided that he supports President Obama's position on not raising student loan debt. This is the big issue in the news today. All of a sudden, he looks at the polls. Romney is a poll watcher. He's basically behind in every category except older white men, which I happen to be one. I'm a little ashamed of that fact because I don't know what we're thinking. What are we thinking? The Ryan budget basically decimates the safety net. It turns Medicaid into a private program and it privatizes Social Security. Another thing it does, this is where the student loan thing comes in, is it basically eliminates 1 million people from being eligible for student loans, and it raises the interest rate on current student loans from 3.4% to 6.8%. It doubles student loans. That's great. Right now, supposedly, we're really concerned about the deficit. So let's clear up the deficit by putting a little more burden on poor people and students. These students who have done nothing but try to better themselves by trying to get an education are going to leave college with enormous amounts of debt if the interest rate was to go up. They already have plenty to begin with. So let's take away safety nets for poor people. Let's privatize social or Medicaid so that grandma now, we're going to give her a voucher. Let's let 85-year-old grandma go out and shop for private insurance on the private market. Really? Seriously? Lord have mercy, man. Come on, people. In his entire life, do you think Mitt Romney ever had a student loan? Do any of his kids or his grandkids ever have to worry about a student loan? Did he ever have to worry about health care? Do you think he has to go shop on the private market for health care? He buys the premium plan. Do you think he ever had to worry about a home mortgage? Did Mitt Romney ever have to worry about paying a mortgage? He bulldozed his home in California to build a bigger home. And incidentally, he's putting in a car elevator in his home right now. Oh, he's in touch with real Americans, isn't he? He wears a shirt like this with his sleeves rolled up so that he can be in touch with real Americans. Mr. Romney, I am a real American. I would like my health care coverage. I love the safety net. When I become unemployed, I would like to know that there's something there that keeps me off the street.